you. Okay, Coach, how did things change with the College Premier Division this year? A little more organization, it seems like, with USA Rugby.
Yeah, for us it's really good because it gives us the opportunity to have a full conference play and schedule. In the past, in our conference, has been us in Utah, but with the new College Premier Division, there's an additional 6 teams in there, so we have 7 conference games that we've got to compete in, and what they'll do is they'll take the top 2 teams from each conference, and there's 4 conferences, and those 8 teams will then go into a playoff format where they'll have quarterfinals, semifinals, and then a final. So it's good for us because we have a lot of games that mean something, and we can really devote our whole season to working hard and getting better each week.
This week's a big week in particular, Utah obviously. And how big is this match each year for the team?
Oh, it's massive. It's our rival. So it's a big game, and starting with it straight out of the gate, is a bit of a challenge, but it's exciting. It's a game the players always love. We've been working hard to get ready for it, so it's a good, challenging way to begin the season.
And to have them first, you touched on a little bit, but that's a bit of a challenge as well to start off with them and have you've been able to play some games, but this
But it's the same for them too. I mean, I think we've both each played 5 or 6 games, and as a pre-season, the problem is they're not consistently every week. It's 2 or 3 games here and another 2 games there. So I'd have liked more of a steady build-up going into this game, but living in the mountains with all the snow, you don't get that luxury, so we'll just prepare as best as we can, and as I say, it's the same for Utah, so we'll just go out and see how we go.
How do you think you guys stack up this year against the Utes with a bit of turnover on both sides?
I mean, they have a very good team, but I think we have a good team as well. Both teams have some talented players, so it's going to be an exciting game, and I think both teams stack up pretty well against each other.
How exciting is it to be able to play this in Rio Tinto Stadium?
Oh, it's great. I mean, Rio Tinto is a great environment, great playing surface, plenty of room for the fans, and the boys enjoy that experience, so we're looking forward to it.
How's this year's team, I guess, what's the makeup of this year's team compared to the last couple of years?
Well, we're a little bit more balanced this year than we were last year. The year before we were quite balanced too, so, we have some good players that can do some good things on a rugby field. It's just a matter now of getting them into a rhythm so that they can hit their straps and continually get better each week. But we're a fairly balanced team across the board.
Got a couple of guys who are out with season-ending injuries back, and Mike Price and Apanisa Milani. Who are some of the main guys that, if people haven't checked into the team yet this year, would be familiar faces and some new faces?
Well, obviously we have Apanisa and MSP coming back, and then they're starting to get feedback from the season and an injury from last year. So they'll be big players. Then we have some new players that have come in, some of the young freshmen that are quite talented. But the injury bug has already bitten us, and we've lost 2 or 3 fairly influential players. But hey, everybody has to deal with that, and that's why we try and develop some depth in the squad so that those other players can step up and do well. And we have a lot of confidence in the whole squad this year, so even though it's unfortunate and I hate injuries, but right now I think we have the depth this year to be able to cope.
Who's hurt? Who are those 2?
Well, we've lost Josh Whippy to an ACL. We've lost Rocky Kalimafoni to an ACL. Then we've got Pete Wilkinson, who's looking at an MCL, possible meniscus. Those are the 3 major ones at the minute. Then we've, the usual hamstring tweaks and sore thumbs and ankles and that sort of thing. But those are ones that you just work with and deal with throughout the course of the season.
Okay. Anything else you want to add about the team or anything else going on?
That's good.
Okay.